Greetings duelists and welcome to another video. So today we're going to be talking about a new archetype that just got revealed. This is coming in Duelist Advance. Welcome to the Academy of Artmegia. So Artmegia is a new archetype that, as I mentioned, this archetype composes of 5 main deck monsters, 5 spells, 2 fusion monsters, and 1 trap. The gimmick behind this archetype is to use this monster right here, Medius the Innocent. And even though Medius does not share the Artmegia name, it does revolve around the other Artmegia cards, and you'll see very soon how this operates. This is a very odd way of playing a fusion deck. It is at first glance very confusing, but like as we go along with the explanations, you'll understand that this is a very strong concept to stuff that we see in the past, and it's very different from other fusion decks. This is not something like Dragon Tail or like Chimera or Tier Elements. You'll see very soon what I mean by that. So let's start with Medius the Innocent. Medius the Innocent is a level 4 Dark Fairy, 1800 attack and defense, and this card reads, if this card is normal or special summoned, you can take one imprisoned deity monster from your deck and either add it to your hand or special summon it. If this card is in your graveyard, you can shuffle one monster in your hand or face off field into a deck, and if you do, special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. I'll give my final consensus on this card after I read the entire archetype, but just it being a +1 on summon and having a recursion effect from the graveyard, it's already really strong for a monster like in 2025 standards. This means that later in the game, if you are like, for example, in the mid to late game or in the grind game, you can summon this card from your graveyard and it immediately just pays itself off like in new value. Now, let's talk about the imprisoned deity. This is imprisoned deity Beast of Artmegia. Take note, this says imprisoned deity monster and not specifically the one of Artmegia, which kind of lets you believe that we will see other imprisoned deities in the future. But for now, let's talk about the Artmegia one. This one reads, you cannot special summon from the extra deck except fusion monsters. You can only use each effect of the imprisoned deity of Artmegia once per turn. Quick effect, you can fusion summon one Artmegia fusion monster or Nerva, the imprisoned deity of creation, from your extra deck, using monsters from your hand or field, including this card you control. If this card is sent from the hand or field to the graveyard, you can add one Artmegia spell or trap from your deck to your hand with a different name from the cards in your graveyard. So to summarize, this is a fusion catalyst for the fusion monsters. Not only that, but this card does replace itself, which is really good. Take note, it replaces itself when sent from the hand or deck to a graveyard or field to a graveyard, and it doesn't matter how it was sent there. So if this card is ever being used as a cost for an other card's effect, or just being discarded, or just like or be like in the way of of your opponent's like disruptions and stuff, this card will replace itself. And there are a lot of Artmegia cards, as you will see very soon. So very strong card. Before we talk about the main deck monsters, we need to talk about the spells, because the spells are what's going to give it way more value in the archetype. We'll start with Artmegia the Academy. During your main phase, you can normal summon one Medius the Innocent in addition to your normal summon or set. You can discard one spell or trap and declare the name of one Artmegia monster due to not control. Add one of the declared monsters from your deck to your hand. Also, you cannot special summon outside of the extra deck for the rest of this turn, except Artmegia monsters and Medius the Innocent. You can only declare each card name once per turn to activate this effect of Artmegia Academy of the Divine Arts. So it's very odd that it mentions Medius the Innocent, since this is the main deck monster. However, just being able to tutor out any of your other monsters with the cost of one spell card, it seems like very fair value. Like, this is not on activation. This is just once per turn effect. So, like later in the duel, as you progress, you just get more and more names. Being able to lose a spell card, it sounds like a hefty cost, but you will see later with these Artmegia monsters that really won't matter. Artmegia. Let's go with Artmegia Masterwork Succession. During the main phase, fusion summon one fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field, including an Artmegia monster. Then, if there is a card in the field zone, the summoned monster gains 500 attack. During your main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 3 Artmegia cards in your graveyard with different names, shuffle them into the deck. You can only use each effect once per turn. Very straightforward. This is just a quick play fusion spell. As you can see already, they do have fusion monsters. But take note, this can summon anything. It doesn't just summon Artmegia fusion monsters. The only real condition is that you need to use an Artmegia monster as a material, and that means you can fusion into stuff like Guardian Chimera. You can fuse stuff like into the Dragon Tail monsters. King of the Swamp, Dragon of the Swamp is another example of cards that you can summon with this card. Overall, really, really good. Artmegia Banish Change. Place one Artmegia Academy from your deck or graveyard into your field zone, or if you already control it, add one Artmegia card from your deck to your hand instead. When your Artmegia monster is targeted for an attack, you can banish this card from your graveyard, negate that attack, then you can special summon one Medius the Innocent from your hand. Really good card, really strong. Like, it being able to tutor out the Academy is already strong. It does play around Droll and Lockbird, which is very important. Another note is, if you already control the Academy, it already has more value. So that's what we need in 2025. We just need more spell cards that just have more effects if you already can fulfill one of them. This card is really strong because not only can it search monsters, but it can also search for spell and traps. Like, the deity can only search for spell and traps. The Academy can only search for monsters. So, yeah, that's something very important to know. So, this is Artmegia Vandalism Assault. This is a continuous spell, and this card reads, when this card is activated, you can add one Medius the Innocent from your deck to your hand. You can target one face-up monster you control. That face-up monster can be treated as an Artmegia monster if used as a fusion material this turn. You can only use this effect once per turn. If the Artmegia Academy would be destroyed, you can send this card. you control to the graveyard instead. Very straightforward. It's just a card to tutor out the innocent, which is very good to know because this is the first card that does that. I don't think any of the other cards, even the Academy itself, can add Medius. And Medius, for some strange reason, is not an Artmegia by name. I think this is something very similar to Fallen of Albas, where you're just going to have a lot of things revolving around this card, even though Fallen of Albas is not a branded monster like by name. It is a branded monster by the definition of the text of the cards revolving it. So you can already tell from all the cards that we've read so far, this is a very, very consistent archetype. Like, you will get to these cards very efficiently. And that's not even talking about the monsters yet. Before I read the third card, I'm going to read this last card right here. This is Theorealize. So, Theorealize reads, you can send one Medius the Innocent from your deck to your graveyard. Look at the top card from your opponent's deck and either place it on the top or the bottom of the deck. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one face of monster you control, and declare one monster type and one attribute. This card becomes they become the combination that you declared until the end of your opponent's turn. Very strange card. I don't think this card is really good. Just sending Medius the Innocent, like sending Medius the Innocent is still is a consistency factor, because remember, Medius can summon itself from the graveyard. So this is indirectly getting to your engine if you do that play involving Medius. One other note is that this card is really cool in the sense that you can declare any combination of cards and maybe just get value out of them. Like, imagine calling Light Fiend with this card and just be able to summon Requiem with it, just to give you one example. But yeah, that's it for this card. I think this is the weakest card out of the entire bunch. There's not much to talk about this. However, if you do want to play around Droll Lovebird and you just want to tutor out like the Medius, or you just want another card that can get to Medius besides just the Vandalism Assault, then yeah, Theorealize is pretty much what you're aiming for. For the last spell and traps, you have Artmegia Mecena Awakening. This card reads, special summon one Artmegia monster or one Medius of the Innocent from your deck. Also this turn, the activation of your cards and effects that include the effects that fusion summons a fusion monster cannot be negated. Also, your opponent can activate cards or effects when a monster is fusion summoned this way. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one Artmegia monster you control, return it to the hand or extra deck, and if you do, destroy one card your opponent controls. You can only use Artmegia Mecena Awakening once per turn, and only once last turn. This card, it's incredible. We still need to wait on the context behind the fusion monsters and what the fusion monsters do, but just as a fusion mechanic alone, this card is already deceptively powerful. Take note, you can summon Medius with this, and Medius can get you to the deity, and deity can quick summon on your opponent's turn. So being able to activate the deity and it not be negated by your opponent, also your opponent not responding to your fusion monsters, we will see very soon, it's already really strong. And take note, uh, is when any fusion monster is fusion summoned. So if you fuse like with Dragon Tail monsters, or you fuse with like for Guardian Chimera with the Succession, like just having that lingering a blanket effect that protects your fusions on a trap card is, yeah, it's really, 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 really good. Okay, so now that we read all of those, let's go with the rest of the monsters. I felt like I needed to read the spell and traps first because these are the backbone of the archetype. However, the monsters do share a special gimmick. Uh, every main deck monster has the same first effect. That first effect being that if you control an Artmegia card, you can special summon them, and then do something when they're summoned. Litera can add you Artmegia card from your graveyard. Find Melt can draw you one card. Grafalre or Graflar, I think that's how it's pronounced, can set you an Artmegia spell card. They all have quick effects as well. Graflar can pop a spell or trap your opponent controls. Litera can special summon an Artmegia monster from your graveyard. Find Melt, if you control 3 or more monster types, you can negate the effects of all your face-up monsters your opponent currently controls. Like, so it's very difficult to like gauge the power behind these cards, but the fact that they're all free summons, like if you already control a Mega card, is already strong enough as is. This deck encourages you to play different types of monsters in order to get beneficial effects or extra summoning conditions. And you'll see a few examples of like cards that you can pair in order to make this archetype work, because there are a few examples. But yeah, Graflar is the best one because it can tutor out Artmegia spell card, while Litera is pretty much the weakest one, but it's better in like the mid to late game because it can start recovering your resources. And Find Melt, just being able to draw a card is already strong. Like it's just really good already. This does have a passive effect that I forgot to mention. Your opponent cannot target Artmegia monsters with a lower level, which means they cannot target either Litera or Graflar or the deity. I would have liked it if they would have included the blanket protection for Medius the Innocent as well. But I guess we can take this for now. Litera has the passive no battle damage clause, but that's not really that good. And Graflar can protect itself by battle once each turn. Again, not that great, but I guess those bonus effects are something that we shouldn't like complain about. Now let's go for the fusion monsters. This is Diactoros. Diactoros fusion materials are Medius the Innocent and one Artmegia monster. Very simple. You can target one monster on the field, change its battle position. Where your opponent activates a card or effect on the field and you control 3 or more different monster types, you can negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. If this fusion summoned card is destroyed, you can special summon one Medius the Innocent from your hand, deck, or banishment. You can only use each effect of Diactoros once per turn. Really good card. The first thing to note is that its floating effect means that you can remake another copy of this card. if your opponent just easily gets rid of it, and you have Medias in rotation. The fact that it can summon even from banishment is really strong, because it means that even if they bestial your Medias, for example, you can just tutor it out with the Arctoros, unless your opponent, like, non-destruction removes this monster. Now let's read Nerva, the Imprisoned Deity of Creation. So this requires 3 Artmegia monsters. Must first be fusion summoned or special summoned from the extra deck in defense by tributing 3 monsters with different types. You can only special summon Nerva, Deity of Creation, once per turn. This cannot be destroyed by card effects while there's a card in the field zone. Once per turn, if you activate an Artmegia monster's effect, you can make that effect becomes destroy all cards your opponent controls. So this card is really strong. You're probably thinking, well, getting to this card and getting to the Artmegia like fusion just by itself is not really that good. But take note that Nerva can turn any Artmegia into a pop all cards your opponent controls. So let's say, for example, you have Graflar, or you have Litera, or you have like Fine Melt. All these effects, all these like last effects that they have, they're all quick effects. So this monster pretty much just cheats out what these monsters can do, and they turn them into board wipes on your opponent's turn. That's a really cool and fun gimmick. But however, where this card really becomes powerful is in context with the Awakening. Now that I read all the cards, let me show you just one specific example. For this combo, we're going to use Hornet Drones and like the Tutor spell. But if you look at this hand, for example, any really cool combination of cards can do this. But yeah, just I'll explain everything as we go along. So this is a 1.5 card combo. You ended on the Imprisoned Deity. You ended on an Artmegia monster that can nuke your opponent's board with the Deity's effect. You ended on the Messena Awakening. You ended on the Divine Arts. And like worst case scenario, you do have the Innocent in your graveyard to just like quick tag itself into your in your opponent's turn. Where it actually gets really scary is when you resolve the Artmegia Messena, because resolving Messena means that you can summon Medias on your opponent's turn. Medias grabbing the deity, and take note, your opponent cannot negate this deity from fusion or summoning. It does require to summon an Artmegia fusion monster specifically. However, like just being able to, like, for example, summon the Arctoros on your opponent's turn, and immediately on the Arctoros summon, nuke your opponent's entire board with the battle position effect, which you can transform it using Nerva. We're looking at something really cool. Like, like imagine just summoning a board wipe on your opponent's turn that your opponent just cannot respond to. In the off chance this could have been responded to, this does have the monster negate effect. Oh, and that's another note. In this board, you have an illusion, a dragon, and a fairy type monster. So that's 3 different types, which means you do get the negation effect. Now, let's talk about the Sky Striker engine for a little moment. I chose this example because in order to summon the imprisoned deity, you need different types. In order to get beneficial effects, you need different types. And Hornet Drones plus Kagari just provides you 2 different types already. But more importantly, this provides you as a spell card fodder for the Artmegia Academy. So yeah, that's the synopsis behind this deck. I actually do like this archetype. I actually think this is a very creative way to fusion summon. Like, this card I think is really powerful. Like, just being able to fusion summon with blanket protection is already strong enough as is. The thing I am afraid of is how splashable can this archetype be, because just to give you an example, Litera is a spellcaster and Graflar is a dragon. There is the new Mysterion Dragon Fusion monster that's coming out very soon. And not only that, you also have a few other monsters. And take note, Succession allows you to fusion summon into anything. So imagine if you have Awakening, and then you just Succession into Guardian Chimera. We're talking about a Chimera that can draw you cards and pop you cards, and your opponent cannot do anything about it. Very similar to Magical Meltdown. But yeah, that's it from me. I hope you found this informative to your liking and understanding. Our North American WCQ is looking very, very interesting. This archetype will be legal for that event, so it's good to keep it on your toes. Yeah, keep practicing and keep dueling.